I'd really like to be able to share a lot of these things with you because as I do it, it's also a reminder to myself of the things that I should be doing. I guess today is all about focusing on the behavioral side of finance. This is implanted on that reality that things are easier said than done. The principles, very simple, very easy to follow. But behaviorally, we have difficulty. Again, as I will do it all throughout this presentation, I will always say it's all about the setup. Why challenge yourself? We know that it's difficult psychologically. It's a losing ball game because of what needs to be done. The right things are the tougher things to do. So it's incumbent upon us to manage the system, create the environment so that we don't have to test ourselves and we don't have to get it out there and say that we have willpower. Many, many behavioral finance practitioners will always say money is behavioral, never technical. And that's the reason why in turning financial goals into real life results, it's really the human behavior side to it that we will have to really control. So it's not a knowledge problem. It's a behavior execution problem. For most part, I've told a lot of people, we all know what to do. You know what to do. We've been listening to a lot of people. We have read books. We have, been exposed to a lot of great and sad stories, all in combination. We know what to do, but we just simply can't do it. Many of us are challenged. And as I've said, I'm partially guilty of this too. While, many people consider me a mentor, I have to admit there are times when I struggle with it. There are times when I need to tell myself I need to follow through because we know what to do, we just don't do them. Do you know the real reason behind that? The real behavioral reason why it's easier to do the things that don't need to be done, and it's difficult to do the things that are right. And if I will tell you, there are only two reasons for it. And always remember it, double P. Two P's, pain and pleasure. We do things to have pleasure for ourselves. And it's easier. You do it because you enjoy it. No one has to tell you, or if anyone ever introduces it to you, you'll do it automatically later on. But we don't do things if they cause us pain, if they are hard, if they make life difficult. Think about studying in school, right? We know we're there to study, and we know every day we have to, but we didn't. Why? It's painful. It's always easier to play, socialize, have fun. No one has to tell you that, but you did it every day when you were young. But come to think of it, when exam time comes, do you sit down, buckle up, and study? You do. You know why? It's not because it suddenly became pleasurable. It is because you know that there is a worse pain that can come after. If you fail, your parents will definitely go hard on you. You might lose your allowance or you might be grounded. So what does that mean? A greater pain you want to avoid put you in a position for change. Isn't that what we need to do for our finances? Isn't that what we need to do for our finances? If we know that it's tough to remain disciplined, but we know that the pain of regret that can come after when we get older, when we retire, that is going to be painful. And regret at that time, will be difficult to correct or comprehend because it might be too late. So those are the very principles that we will make as a cornerstone for turning financial goals into real life triumphs and victories. Because we will have to manage not simply the investments, not simply the positioning, the timing, the technicals. Many people will be talking about that all throughout today or in other social media platforms or in seminars you might attend. But this topic is one that cuts through all that. Because at the end of the day, even if you know what to do, you won't do it if you don't set things up correctly. The problem is not the market. The problem will not be the funds, the stocks, the commodities, the foreign exchange. All of that wouldn't be the problem. The problem is you. The problem is how you get to manage yourself. And since many of us are professionals, we also have to tuck in how we get to manage the behavior of our clients, how we get to manage their goals translated into their own personal victories, because we're supposed to assist in that. That is our absolute challenge. And again, we say it. People fail not because they don't know what to do. They know what to do, but because they don't structure their environment to make decisions automatic. It is very different when things are automatic. You take away the hesitation. You take away the temptation. When you do that, things change. It is going to be about not simply controlling yourself. That is tough. But when you control the environment, when you control your setup, when you control the people around you, because eventually you have all of these choices to make, then you have a better success rate of changing your behavior, taking focus on your financial results, because things are rather automatic. Things are not put into question. Because whenever you become tentative, whenever you put yourself in a situation to rethink something, there is always a potential of losing. A potential of losing to the temptation, a potential of getting into being budoled. Di ba? Budol yan eh. But certainly, that exposure is our own doing because we did not set things up correctly. We will have to be able to do that. So again, I will have 6 actionable and high impact recommendations. Real action points that can be implementable, that can easily be executionable. And again, number 1, I use these 6 action points and make them very easy to follow. If you're serious about it, if your clients are serious about it too, they can easily follow through. And second, customize for Filipinos. Because again, as I've read a lot of these books, watch a lot of these shows, many of them actually are focused on different cultures. And I know that we have very unique situations. We have very unique positions. And I want to be able to pin down a real recommendation for Pinoys. Because sa totoo lang, may sarili-sarili tayong idiosyncrasies, may sarili-sarili tayong belief systems. And our culture, technically and unfortunately, is not attuned for money, not attuned for growth, not attuned for investments. Sinasabi ko nga, sometimes it is a cultural and social makeup. Filipinos don't like to discuss money. It's almost like taboo, right? I mean, it's bad to be in a social situation and discuss money. Even in families, over dinner, sometimes it's taboo. It doesn't sound good. Whereas our Chinese friends who are very successful in money management always think and discuss money. It's very natural. It's very comfortable. And sabi ko nga, getting into the lighter side of things, it's always in their mind. It's always in their culture. Sometimes it goes to an extreme. And that's the reason why it's their makeup. I chanced upon this this comedy show by Ronnie Cheng. And he says, do you know why, technically Chinese people are so attuned to money? Because money is in their veins. Money is in their head all the time. Religion-wise, they have even a God for money. They have a God for money. And what's funny about this is that he even said, when they greet each other, Happy New Year. And this is something very important. Happy New Year. We greet each other, maligayang Pasko, manigong bagong taon, Happy New Year in English. Right? The Chinese, you hear this, Kong Hei Pa Choi, Kong Hei Wat Sai. Do you know what those words mean literally? I hope you get rich. I hope you get prosperous. There's no new year in that. It's always about being prosperous, being abundant. And I hope we get rich together because you're also going to greet me. Kong Hei Wat Sai, Kong Hei Pa Choi. So both of us are going to be rich. So culturally, malayo ang Pinoy. Diba? Manigong bagong taon. Asan ang pera doon? Diba? So clearly, we will have to do something. And this, mind you, are 6 very simple, actionable impact points, as I've said. Number 1, convert your goals into behavior contracts. It's nice to have goals, but, if you've read Atomic Habits with James Clear, he said, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Very unfortunate. Goals are great. They're one of the primary steps in this financial journey. They're exciting. But when things stop with them, we're dead. In fact, we even put goals very vaguely. And when goals are very vague, we will have a problem. Because vague goals lead us to vague directions and solutions. Example, mag-iipon ako. Very vague, mag-iipon ako. Saan? Magkano? They're faulty when it comes to construct. They don't lead to action. When you turn this into a behavior contract, ano ba ang meron ng contract? Contracts have details. Contracts tell you when, where, and how. Saan? Kailan? Magkano? Ibang-iba pag kontrata eh. May detalye. So, when your goal is very vague, it's so difficult to follow through. Or even if you get to follow through, you will never be consistent, you will never be focused, and you are putting yourself in a situation where you can manage it. What does that mean? Medyo nakaluwag-luwag ka today, magdadagdag ka ng konti. Next month, medyo naipit ka ng konti, wag na muna. See, when it's like that, it becomes optional. And when it's optional, you cannot make it consistent. That is the problem with a poor setup. When you don't have it as a contract with no details, you will easily go astray. This is called implementation intention. Implementation intention avoids decision fatigue kasi wala kang masyadong de-decidean eh. Hindi yung tuwing 15 o 30, mag-iisip ka, magsasave ba ako ngayon, mag-i-invest ba ako? You put yourself in a position of hesitation. And when that happens, guess who will win? Mananalo ang pleasure because it's the easier route. Pain will always be avoided. In which case, you will not grow your savings and investments. You have to be able to avoid these excuses. But how can you avoid the excuses when you put yourself in a position to have an excuse? Eh kung wala nang excuse, kontrata na lahat, naka-specify lahat, you cannot be untrue to yourself. You will have to follow that. Number 2, automate before you allocate. Allocation is great. You have different investment positions. Pero mas maganda yung i-automate mo na, di ba? Nakapili ka na. We are now looking at a very standard equation that we've heard many, many times. Kasi ang problema ng Pinoy, we save what's left. And usually, what's left is zero. Diba? Yung sweldo mo, tinanggal mo yung gagastusin mo, zero. O hindi naman zero, napakaliit. Kaya ang tagal natin sinasabi, the solution there is income minus investments. Take investments out first and then you get your expenses. You will know how to grow it because nauna na siya eh. Hindi na siya tentative. See, you put auto-debit features, you put standard structure so that you can invest in new ITFs and mutual funds on a regular basis. Siguro, if you say, I'm going to put X, saan ko ilalagay? Very specific. And then automatic na yan, naka-agree na sa platform that's digital, naka-automatic na sa bangko mo, pagpasok ng sweldo, dun ka agad pupunta. So you treat savings as a non-negotiable expense. Hindi siya pakunwari or pwedeng magbago. Because let me tell you what happens. Ito, very good example. If this is your income, ano nangyayari sa prinsipyong Pinoy? Ito yung income mo, automatic gagawin mo, no? Tax-free income naman yan or after-tax income. O, ayan yung expense mo. So, ayan. O, yan yung day-to-day expenses. Day-to-day. Okay? So, ito. Siyempre naman, kailangan nating mag-enjoy, hindi ba? Kailangan natin may vacation time. Kailangan nating may kahit paano, konting aliw. Parties, weekends, di ba? Siyempre, bibili tayo ng damit. Bibili tayo ng magagandang sapatos, accessories, relo, di ba? O, yan na lang, o, di ba? Ngayon, pag weekend, medyo kailangan mo naman ng konting body pampering, mag-i-spa ka, tapos yung mga babae dyan, siyempre, pupunta sa parlor, o yan na lang, di ba? Sa liit niyan, meron pang kukuha dyan na hindi mo kilala. Nandun yan, nakatago sa bahay, pero may kukupit pa dyan, o yan na lang, yan na, o, ayan. O. This is what we're going to invest. Di ba? Nakasulat sa Biblia to eh. Kung anong tinanim, yun ang aanihin, di ba? O, ito, munggo to, munggo. O, munggo. Ha? Anong aanihin mo sa munggo? Toge. I really like that example. I've used that a gazillion times. It's funny, but it strikes deeply. Kasi totoo. Ano ba talaga dapat? Ito, income mo. Mas konti. Mas konti ang income. Oh, ha? Pero, unahin na natin. Oh, ayan. This is what you will have automatically taken out for investing. Now this, you'll make this fit across your needs and wants. Again, I will repeat that. Both needs and wants. Not just needs, but also wants. Magkakasya? Pagkakasyahin mo eh. That's the issue, right? Bakit hindi nagkasya? Kasi akala mo malaki. Think about the past. Was there a time when you were earning less, pero mas maluwag ka? Why is it so perplexing, so shocking and surprising that when you earned a little more money or even bigger money, that's the time things didn't fit in? Kung kailan mas malaking kita mo, saka hindi nagkasya. And why? Because the trajectory of your lifestyle is faster than the trajectory of your income. And that's the reason why I tell people, expand your earning potential, but still follow it through with a budget. Para the difference is something you can grow. Because wealth is not what you earn, wealth is what you keep. So treat savings as a non-negotiable expense. Very important. Automation removes the need for willpower from the equation because willpower is hard. Willpower is hard. Do not trust yourself. It is very different when you don't need to decide. If it's automatic, it is actually done without you fitting into the equation and thinking correctly. What if there is something embedded in you, some other desire for something else to buy, right? Then you get tempted. But if it's automatic, you will see what's going to be left. And even if there is a part of that would be for your luxuries, that will be for your luho, right? It's going to be fine. You're going to do it. Why? Because savings and investments would have been prioritized. They were there ahead. Number 3, use mental accounting to your advantage. Filipinos naturally easily compartmentalize money. We easily compartmentalize money. This is for that. This is for this. It's easy for us. But use that deliberately. Make sure that you have the right buckets. Come up with 4 buckets, an emergency fund that's really secure. 3 to 6 times your monthly income. And if you're a little more attuned to this and you've done your job well early, you can even have 12 months or more, which means you don't have to have a job and you can walk away, for that amount of time. So emergency fund set aside, again, minimum of 3 to 6 months salary. Then investments. Then money for daily expenses. And then guilt-free spending or luho fund. You know why I really like to have a luho fund? Because I don't really believe in many gurus out there who sometimes blame coffee. They blame coffee for the financial failures of many people. Right? Kasalanan ni Starbucks eh. Kasalanan ng milk tea. Di ba? Kasi they compute. 2 cups of coffee, 5 days a week, 52 weeks in a year, invested at 10% for 30 years, multi-millions. Diba? What that doesn't take into account is that for some person, that coffee is important. I probably will spend for my coffee, but it's coffee that perks me up in the morning, energizes me the whole day, and because it's a great brand, it keeps me feeling good that I am in tip-top shape and I'm enjoying what I want to enjoy. Again, if coffee is not important to you, let it go. But if it is, why not? Will it really move the needle? I think what these influencers and gurus want to do would be to use that as a metaphor, but not literally to avoid coffee. Diba? If you're that person who feels that shot of caffeine in the morning works to perk you up, abay, titipirin mo yun, nanginginig ka buong umaga kasi hindi ka nakapagkape. Nasira ang buhay mo. Then all the more, hindi ka productive. Right? So the most important thing here is to understand what's important to you. So again, this is a side rule that's not part of it, but I want to make sure this hits hard. Scrimp on what doesn't matter. Tipirin mo yung mga bagay that don't matter to you, that are not important to you. But spend a lot on those that do. And if you understand what they are, they will motivate you, they will excite you, they will inspire you, and they will move the needle on your financial journey much, much better than the coffee or the milk tea that you have to avoid. May nagsabi nga sa akin yan di ba? Rex, 2 cups of coffee, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, 30 years, at 10%, may Ferrari ka na. Sabi ko talaga, ikaw nagkakape ka? Hindi. May Ferrari ka? Wala. Di ba? Sorry guys. Kasi ako, nagkakape ko. Pero may Ferrari ako. May Maserati din ako. May boat pa nga ako eh. So, what does that mean? We have to control this. It is just like any goal in our life that's important. Physical. Let's just focus on physical fitness. Not financial fitness, physical fitness. Marami sa inyo dyan gustong mag-cut ng weight. So what do you do? What do? You don't eat. You diet. You exercise. You go to the gym. Painful, right? Sacrifice. You hit your target weight. What do you do next? What do you do next? You reward yourself. And when you reward yourself, what do? You eat. And in less than 3 weeks, you're back to your old weight. What should be the solution? The solution is not to negate the future just by being correct today. The correction is to enjoy the lifestyle of a fit person so that it doesn't have to be a sacrifice. Going through 10,000 steps a day, going to, a bit of stretching in the morning, a balanced diet where you can still eat what you want, but in moderation. So, it's a setup where it's not a sacrifice. And because it's not a sacrifice, and, mind you, some of our friends are like that, right? They go to the gym and they enjoy going to the gym. They enjoy going to yoga classes. They enjoy going to, runs and attend runs even on weekends. So what happens? They're fit. And they're fit over the long term because that has become their identity. Oops. Very important in finance. Do you have the identity of a financially responsible person? That's very important. The identity of a financially responsible person. And we're going to be talking about that because I have an action point with regard to that. So never borrow long-term money for today's enjoyment. It's much like physical fitness. You want to be better off? You want to be healthier? Make it consistent. Make it part of your life. Enjoy it, not think that you're sacrificing it. Because much like in finance, after you get to save, naging milyonaryo na. Sige, let's blow it up. Kasi na-achieve mo na eh. Mali di ba? Mali yun. Kailangan natin siguraduhin that our journey is a methodical one. And as my friend Edward Lee will always say, you only get rich once. You also have to know how to take care of that when you become rich. There's a difference between managing money and investments when you're trying to be rich. You have to be optimistic. You have to be a risk taker. Once you get rich, there's another story. Retaining wealth is very different from growing wealth. And in retaining wealth, you have to be humble to the point of being simple. Enjoy the things you like, but never overdo it. This time, you're going to be more risk averse. This time, you're going to be paranoid on deals that make you big money because the risks are going to be huge. So it's a very important change in demeanor that you shift from growing wealth to maintaining wealth. Anyway, part of it, while we are on the journey, number 4 is shrink big goals into weekly wins. Anything big is daunting. Anything big is hard to comprehend for many of us. And, it can be 100,000, it can be 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, or 1 billion. But if you break it down into chunks that can be realistic, they don't become distant and discouraging. Because big goals can be distant. And because it's really that far, we get frustrated. But what if you bring it down to something manageable, like 100,000? What does that mean? Hitting 2,100 a week. So in a year, you get 100,000. If you do it this way, what happens? It's believable. We will track our progress weekly. not annually, because sometimes when it's too long, we miss out on the entire picture. And again, very important, intermediate goals. As we hit our big financial goals, very important yung intermediate goals. And I mentioned that earlier. For the ladies, if that bag is really important to you, let us put it in your plans. An intermediate goal, which means in X number of years, you're going to buy that bag of your dreams. Men, is it the shoe? Is it the watch? Let's do it. Why? Because when you're wearing the watch and you're wearing the bag, it changes you. You're excited, you're inspired, you're moving forward with confidence because you enjoy what you're doing. If this journey will be a sacrifice for you, if you're scrimping on yourself and your loved ones, that sacrifice might not be good at the tail end of this. And it's going to be very difficult because you grudgingly and slowly take each day out of your life that you don't enjoy. Just imagine, you get called by the Lord tomorrow. What will we put in your grave? Ano ilalagay natin sa lapid? Here lies someone who wants to be happy tomorrow. Sakit dun, di ba? Pinaghirapan mo, tapos hindi mo pa na-enjoy, natigo ka na. Oh. So what does that mean? You enjoy it every single day. Your simple pleasures. But be responsible. As I've said, get that watch in a year or 3 years, get that bag. But that's part of a plan. That's an intermediate goal. Your brain will respond to frequent small wins than distant big rewards. That distant big rewards can give you anxiety. That's why slowly creating targets, smaller targets, believable and achievable, will also work very effectively. Design your environment with discipline. As I've said, willpower is so difficult. It is so unreliable. Do we trust ourselves? I cannot trust myself. I mean, I'm a very disciplined person money-wise, but when I'm, like, let's say on a trip to Europe, I'm in Switzerland and I get to go to that alley where all the watches are, I cannot trust my willpower. And if my credit card can foot the bill, why not? Right? You get tempted. But when you create an environment around you, when you create an environment that controls you, then you don't have to rely on willpower. So this is true. When I travel, I have a credit card that only has a limited maximum credit limit. Small. Enough for that trip to be luxurious, but not enough for me to buy something impulsively. Again, impulsively. Because when I travel and I know I'm about to buy something there, that's different. That's a planned purchase. What I want to control in my environment is impulse purchase. So I'm not going to give myself the capability to execute on an impulse buy. See, if you're in a position to get exposure to impulse temptations, impulse buys, and you have the capability to execute on it, guess what you're gonna do? You will buy. You will go astray. So manage that environment. And some points that can be shocking to many, but let's try. Uninstall your shopping apps for a set period. For some of you who are really addicts, kahit 1 week lang, subukan lang natin. And for those of you who are not, maybe a month. In fact, what happens is that you install it within a particular week when you're really about to buy something, when you're really looking for something. But the bad thing about having them all there is that you will always be fed with a lot of all of this information, a lot of the things that you probably might want, and then you get tempted to execute on them. So take them out of your reach, take them out of your sight. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay? Avoid budol triggers, flash sales, impulsive borrowing, and browsing. Alam niyo, totoong nangyayari ha. I don't know if you believe me or not, but I think we all realize our cell phones, our mobile phones are listening to us. They're listening to us. Diba? Hindi mo napansin na pag-usapan nyo lang ng barkada nyo sandali, meron ganitong, this new cover for a cell phone. Pinag-usapan nyo lang, ang ganda. Then, after that, nanonood ka ng TikTok or you're in another social media platform, all of a sudden, you get an ad about it. You get an ad about it. Right? You watch an ad about, garlic, spicy garlic tahong. Pinanood mo yung buong ad dahil na ano ka nainganyo ka di ba? Pinanood mo ng buo. Guess what's gonna happen? That platform will send you images, ads, talks, live chats of that particular product on a constant basis hanggang bumili ka. That's the thing about technology, ladies and gentlemen. People have perfected them to tempt us. And they're already in an art and a science about it. And that's why we will have to counteract it effectively. Surround yourself with financially disciplined peers. Alam nyo, ibang-iba when you're in a community. And when I was interviewed in Billionario News, I said that if you can have your way, choose friends that are responsible financially, that are disciplined, and on their road to achieving financial fulfillment and financial freedom in their lives. And if you are going to be joining communities, it's great to deal with set clubs and organizations like IMG, the International Marketing Group, like Brother Bo's Truly Rich Club. The platinum of Truly Rich Club is impeccable. They're made up of great entrepreneurs and massive, effective mentors that guide people. IMG has this education platform that becomes not just a pathway, a guardrail for financial success. So, if you're in these communities, mahahawa ka sa kanila eh. Mahahawa ka. Pero pag ang kasama mo, gastador, mahilig mag-shopping, budol expert, magiging ganun ka din. There's such a thing as osmosis. So let's make sure we manage that part. You upgrade that by joining this accountability circle. Behavior is influenced by default options and social norms. It's so hard to control behavior. It's so hard to say I'm disciplined and I'm focused. But you know what you need to do? You need to control not yourself, but your environment. When you control the way people around you think because you've selected them to be your friends, because you elected to be part of these communities, like IMG and TRC, eventually, your values and principles will emerge as responsible and principled as well, because that's your exposure. If you don't see social media, platforms, shopping apps, then you get to avoid them. So, all of these social norms, pag ang default option mo, wala yung choices na ganyan, you will not be tempted. You will not go astray. Number 6, and the last one, time money to identity, not just outcomes. This is very, very important. When your goal is focused on something external, I want to get rich, delikado yan. You have to make it anchored on your identity. I am a financially responsible and disciplined person who invests consistently. Hindi, I want to save. Walang mangyayari dun sa I want to save. If your identity is a person who's investing on a consistent basis, not just in the Philippines, but internationally and globally. Not just geographically, but thematics on technology, on healthcare. If you have time, visit Ramper online and you will see what your options are. If it's your identity, then you have it around you. People act consistently with who they believe they are. I will rephrase it some other way. We never act inconsistently with the way we define ourselves. If you define yourself as financially responsible, you don't act to contradict that. You will always act inconsistent with that identity. That is already the big difference between setting goals and being or making it a part of your personality, making a part of your being. If you make it a part of your being, things change and you will always be in a position to move forward. Sorry for that. This is execution. Execution improves when you remove friction through automation, increase clarity by doing specific actions and making it detailed, create structure, accounts and systems that make sure that there is no room for hesitation, no room for doubt, automatic actions and execution. And lastly, reinforcing the identity that you are disciplined, that you are on your pathway to achieving financial security and prosperity. These are the main action points that I'd want to share with you. As I've said, it's great if we can control ourselves, if we can set good behavior. But the real problem isn't that. The real problem is we don't have it within an ecosystem. If you have it within you and you have it within your ecosystem, then the capacity for making mistakes will be minimized and that journey will be an enjoyable. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, mga ka-RFF, this is Rex Mendoza. I hope that what I shared with you today would be worthwhile, would be things that you'd want to execute on, and will be able to guide you in achieving the fulfillment of your financial dreams. Maraming salamat po and blessings always. Have a great day ahead.